I was going to hit that. Our team was called One Up, and the thought behind our app is similar to that Player 2 arcade bar. Don't know if anyone's from the Valley or if they've been there. It is a old school arcade bar, so the thought was that if any could come in here, you can create events or tournaments. So like an event would be, hey, we're going to run this special. You play this game so many times, if you need a high score, come in here and see if we can host an event. A tournament's going to be similar to any other gaming tournament, like Madden. You have people sign up, say they're going to come. Here, Chris is this is our landing page. What you can do, so without even being logged in, you can search by game and by state. So if you are in a different state and you want to know what venues have Pac-Man or any other game, we'll demo that here in a second.
So the initial idea came as a high score app, and from there we built it into more of a venue and kind of a service for a bar or a kind of like a Fun Set Boulevard if they need to keep track of the games. The idea was that they shut the power down on the high scores overnight, so we came up with that, and that's what we rolled with, and it became more of a venue application from there.
Yeah,
Just
more
want
event
to
tracking.
introduce yourselves just really quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, just want to make sure.
Chris Walter.
Dylan Kuster.
Ashley Rewald.
Action Kumar.
Wait, this is what you'd see if you didn't log in. So you can use the website to a point without logging in. So we can search, this will be all the games that are in the game database right now. Then you can pick your state, so we'll just pick Grand Page, Wisconsin. And then it'll have 2 results here. You can just pick, and if you go to details, it'll bring you to the details page for that. So we got Player 2 arcade bar right now. It'll bring up the Google Maps, which you can talk about if you want how you set that up.
I'll just use the Google Web API to link it with the website, and then use some little bit of JavaScript to make it more dynamic.
Yep. So then each one you go to, it'll load it up to whichever arcade you're on or venue. So then we have just each venue will have it's all built out in tiles. So the first one is just the info on it, and then you have that map. And then we have our list of events, and then tournaments, and then here's the list of games that the venue has. So you can click on the game, and it'll just bring you to the details of the game. And we can go back here. So right now we're not logged in as anybody, but if you wanted to, say you want to click add event, we just have these little pop-ups up here, so you can create an event or log in to add it. So here, I'll just log in as one that's already created.
So there's 2 types of login, just as a user, or you can just go and search for games, just which locations have which games. And you can log in as a user, or you can log in as a owner of a event or location. And those 2 logins lead us here. So.
Yep. So then I just logged in as a user that already has an account and it remembers where you were previously, and it'll bring it back to there. So we were at Player 2 arcade bar, so we want to come back here because we wanted to add that Space Invaders event. So then this page is, everything's all data driven. So it looks at your events that we currently have. So if we look at Donkey Kong, it says remove events, and if we look at Space Invaders, it says add to events. So it knows already what's in our list. Same thing goes for tournaments. So if we want to add, let's just say we want to add this to our list, so we can add that. Then it just, so now that's on our list. If we go to menu, we can go to.
So they add as tiles on the screen, and that also updates the list in the database as well. So you can add remove tiles from whichever game and event you have associated with your account.
Yep. So then we have all our events right here. Then our tournaments are still the same as what they were, but we added that. Which one did we add? Our Space Invaders. So then we did everything in tiles so that it's more responsive than just listing a table, because if you do, they'll just all kind of collapse down.
So that's the mobile.
Just a little easier to work with, because if you have a table and you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with it, because I mean obviously you can't display everything, and it's pretty annoying to scroll side to side. So let's turn that back on. And then if you want to, you can click on the details here. It'll bring you back to whichever venue that that game is associated to. If you click the gamepad, it brings you to the info on the game. So we got Pac-Man, genre, year, advanced players.
And the tournaments as well.
Yep, those work the same way. So you click, that's a Catan tournament, I guess, and then just a little bit of info there, and that one's at a different venue, so then it'll just loads up the map, because that one's in Oshkosh. And then you can see what their other events and tournaments are through there.
Oh, and it also, you can click on the map and then you can get to the location through Google Maps. Pull that out.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, just click one of it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's it. Got the,
yeah. All right. So click on it, and then they take you there, and then you just like, you know.
Also,
Yeah.
yeah, just open Google Apps.
Yep, and it's like gonna get in place. Thank you.
And then you can just remove your event. It'll ask you if you want to remove it. Hit OK. And then just reload. Now it's gone. And then everything just kind of snaps into place. Everything has its own area that it'll expand. So we saw the user side. So for a venue, so we can log out here.
You also can manage your account as well, so.
Oh yeah, just up here. I can show you that with the venue. It's the same way. So now we're logged in as player 2 arcade. So if we go to manage account, it just gives you some of the info that you can normally update on your accounts, and you can change it and update it. So it looks pretty similar to the user. So you got the events, tournaments and games. So you can add, remove games. So this is just, right now it's loading up every single game that's in the game database. So you can go through, and this kind of works similar to how the events work. So Pac-Man's already added on, so that's why it says remove game. So for whatever reason, this venue decided to get rid of that game, they just come in and remove it, or they can add one. So we could add, I guess this one's not added in, so we'll add that. And then I'll reload this page. And let's go back to our home here. And then now we have the Smash TV, which we just added. And then down here we have this copy link button. So the idea with this was, maybe most venue users aren't gonna have, they might not have that much programming experience or anything. They might not know, I don't know. They're probably just gonna come in here, set it up, and not know much else. So what they could do with this is they just click copy link, and then they can share this on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, but basically it's building it out to their details page that the user would see. So then if I go here, now we're back to that page where just a non-logged in user would see.
So if you're a venue, you'd want to share that.
Yep, so they could share their link to external sources pretty easy that way. We got add new event. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But then we have update and delete. So one thing with updating and deleting events and tournaments is that we're using SMTP, and they'll send out an email to whoever is subscribed to that tournament and event. Ashley set up most of that stuff, so I don't know if you want to
Oh, the
explain
email?
it. Yeah.
What we had is, so we did the email aspect of it. Let me see here.
Oh, this one's crazy. I guess.
Oh, is this?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Just take it from there. Yeah, if you want
You're
to
in a
explain.
venue right now? Okay,
Yeah, just-
so also, what we did as well, where he was demoing the add games, so if anyone wants to add a new game to their list, if they don't see it on that list of preloaded games, they are able to request to add a game to the list. What we don't want basically is a bunch of Pac-Mans that are spelled all different ways. One with a space, one with a hyphen. There's actually 3 different login types. So we did the user, we did the venue. There's one called admin. So basically any new game request, let's say they spelled Pac-Man with a K or something goofy in there, it goes to the admin list, and there's a table called pending game requests. As an admin, we can say, you spelled this wrong, we're not going to add this to our list. Or, oh, this is a new game, we're going to go ahead and add it to the list. But here as a venue, we are logged in. If I want to change the date to, let's do, instead of October 1st, we're going to say, you know what, I want it to start on December 10th and end on the 11th. Update the event. And what should go, and I wonder if this user was registered.
Yeah, I should pop it.
I'll slide this over, if not, it should demo. What we have here is we have an email address where it would, there we go. So here we are, so player 2 bar updated the following event. So users that are registered for that event will get a notification email saying, hey, your event's been changed, it's been canceled, date's been moved. So there is the email. Oh, we have
Pending
it.
accounts,
So then if you were to, yeah, we can, okay, so that basically sums up what the venue can do, update and delete, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And then we showed you that, so then we can log out here. If we want to create a venue, we'll just do this. So it's going to put it, like she was saying, it's going to put it in the pending table, because we don't want just anyone making a venue, because then you can just start posting crap all over the place. We don't want that. So then what we'll do is we'll fill out this form here. I'll just go through it real quick. Actually, I'm going to put in a real address because I Googled that thing.
So you'll need approval from the admins to be able to create your location initially.
We don't want a bunch of people coming in and creating things in their basements or.
Or the location of the event.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mom's basement.
Garage.
So like our
Big basement.
little fake verification, they'll just put their TIN in, their tax identification number, we verify it, and then say it's good, and then we'd accept them. So then we'll just name this test. I guess we don't have that test. Okay, then it just checks, make sure you got the password match. Even though you can see it right now. Okay, so then this will say you'll be notified via email provided once you review your submission. Okay, so then if I log in as the admin role now, there's some already in here. So our test one here was the one we just made. So we can either just delete them right off the bat if we know the info doesn't look right, or we can click add. And then are you sure you want to add? And then it'll add them, so now they're gone off there. And if we check our sent box, this is one of the other emails we sent out. So it'll say first name, I just put test in that, this test, but then, or the venue name, and then congratulations. And then we click this link here, and then we can log in. So, here goes test room. I can't remember the password, but it's in there, so we all saw it. But, okay, so that's in there, and then we have, so I guess the one thing I didn't show you was the button was on there, but the venues, they can request a game, like she was saying, we just don't want misspelled games, or the game Pac-Man has 2 spaces or a dash in it instead of 1, something. So these are just pending games. It works the same way. We can just either add it right off the bat, delete it, or we can go to edit. Maybe we want Altered Beast, and it's the second one. So then we'll hit add, and then it'll just add it to the game table. So we should be able to log out admin, and we'll just search.
You'll notice that there's it differentiates between admin login. So there's different. You'll click on different buttons to be able to log in, but it's not a separate page to be able to log in. That's a nice feature, using the same login to either log in as a venue or an admin, or so it picks and you're able to, it chooses through JavaScript and passes it through.
Maybe something's wrong with how it's looking right now, but
I think it's because you edited it, but you didn't add it.
it should just add it. If I remember right, it should just add it right away. But basically the idea was we control it through the admin to watch the pending table, add in what they want, and then they'll get it. An email will be sent out to saying that your game request, whoever requested it will track that, and then they'll get the email saying that it's ready to go, then they can go in and add it in. And we didn't want to add it right away, just in case we changed it too much, then maybe they could contact us, and maybe it wasn't exactly what they were thinking, I don't know, but. What else do we?
So what was the hardest feature to implement?
What do you think of it? Max, just-
I would say, getting to the email part.
The email I struggled with, just personally, because I got into Hangfire or Hangerfire, and I was hell-bent on making that work. It did not. So I think that was just kind of an important process for me, is just to learn to
Cut your losses.
let something be, and I'm one of those people where it's like, no, damn it. I'm gonna win this, and it just didn't shake out, so that was the hardest process. Something that was a little different is when Avi and I, or we were all discussing the maps, the API.
Oh, yeah.
It wanted a payment
Hmm,
to use the API, even though they weren't gonna charge,
yeah.
so that was a little unsettling, I think. but-
Did you take a
Who
credit
wants a
card?
subscription?
Did you take a credit card?
Yeah, but they
Dedication.
don't, they don't
That's
really.
dedication.
Yeah, so as soon as we're done, we're gonna go cancel that.
Cancel it in a year.
What's the thing that you think you're most proud of?
Everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The login stuff, we didn't use authentication, I just kind of wrote it out. So it'll go through, well, we just wrote it out, so, yeah, well, there's, yeah, the different stuff of the session, so remember what page you're on. If you weren't logged in, it'll bring you right to that venue, you can add it in. I have the whole database all scripted out so that I can just run the script and it'll tear it down, send it back up without having, I mean, with all the default data, how we want it set up right off the bat, so that was kind of cool. The email thing, using SMTP, I guess,
Mhm.
once we got that going.
That was much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier.
And then within that, you can, we didn't do too much with formatting, but we were using HTML for the body and everything. That's how we got the link in there, and you can kind of just, whatever you want to do with HTML, you can do with that, and it'll just put it in the email, so. We could have done more with that. We had, I mean, that, things we'd keep going with, I guess, if we had more time to work on it.
So do you guys keep track of all the different features and stories? And
We use Slack for the most part, just for our communication. We can see whenever a commit was done, changes to the code. Initially, we used Excel to kind of keep track of the stories, but since we were meeting pretty consistently, I think it was just more of a verbal process for us. Like, what are we working on next? Is this where we wanted, the direction we wanted to be going in? And then again, Slack, we can kind of manually do it through that way as well.
Cool. Yeah, good work.
Nice job.